Hi, this is Charles Hoskinson broadcasting live from warm, sunny Colorado. Today is December 5th. It's about 2:38 p.m. and we just had a great summit. Brought all the product people together, the commercial people together. We even had a few technical people. And it's rare at IOHK. Usually we're all science, we're all academic, we're all engineering. And this time around, we had product and commercial. So the old, how do you make money? What do we do? How do we solve problems? It's good to actually bring that in. So it's been a great week, a very informative week, a very product-oriented week. We learned a lot about where Cardano's at. We learned a lot about where Cardano's going, and we're working under Aparna's great leadership towards forging a wonderful roadmap for Cardano 2020 that we feel will be very competitive, very compelling, and really help us get to where we need to go as an ecosystem. Furthermore, actually really give people strong incentives to adopt the platform, use the platform, build things on the platform. So we discussed everything from basically partnerships that we need to procure, to standards, to ways of rating our blockchain versus other blockchain, measurement of things like performance and decentralization, how we deal with people like the PwCs and the Accentures and the McKinseys of the world, and getting them really excited about what we're doing and making them recommend what we do. Things like user experience, development experience. We went back to first principles on user experience. We went to development experience from first principles. The budget, the smart contracts program manager, is going to be running around for quite a bit of time and talking to various different people about the smart contract model and what makes Plutus unique and Marlowe unique and the DSL-oriented approach unique. So that was great. Aparna really helped us focus in on the vision, the mission, the goals, the elevator pitch for the platform. And these are inputs that we can put to McCann as they start helping us with the brand refresh. And it'll give us a much more concise, much more exciting way of talking about Cardano. As I mentioned in my prior AMA, we tend to believe a lot of the things we've done are self-evident. And, you know, we write all these great papers that are super awesome and exceptional and are very advanced. But the reality is the work we've done hasn't really percolated as much as it should throughout the different key constituencies and personas that are going to be the consumers of the platform. So it's really important that we really think deeply now about communication and marketing, and not assuming the work we do is self-evident, but really getting that home and pushing that through. So pretty exciting stuff. And it was just great time. And I really enjoyed spending some time with the team. If you want to know what they look like, we did tweet a photo of the whole team together. And not to be outdone, we've also released a big data dump today, and more information is coming. Basically on staking rewards. So for a long time, we looked at different economic models, and there's kind of a basic principle for how you run these systems. So while the market cap is low, adoption is low, you tend to have a higher inflation rate, because what happens is you have much faster adoption than any amount of inflation would matter. Like, okay, 5% or 10% per year. If you have a 2, 3, 4x on the valuation of the underlying asset, even though inflation is decaying a little bit, the overall adoption is so high, nonlinear, that the inflation is not going to impact the price. So you pay a lot in the beginning, and then if you have lots of adoption, you get very valuable, then you should start paying less and less and less until eventually you get to a point where the network has no inflation or low inflation, and then it's just reallocation from a tax on transactions. So we call this the network deficit, and there's lots of thought about this. So long and short is somewhere between 7 to 12%, depending upon participation. We released a blog post actually explaining this. Kevin Hammond has done a great job. We even have a stake pool calculator you guys can play around with and use. And this is kind of the first attempt. And what's going to happen is stake pools are going to start offering more than just ledger services, more than just consensus services of adding slots, blocks into slots. They're going to start doing a whole litany of other things. There's a whole fee structures that they could add in. So it's going to be pretty exciting to see how that materializes. So data dump successful. We're still thinking about the 9th. We may launch on the 9th for the incentivized testnet. We may not. If we don't, it's not going to be like 10 weeks. It'll be like a few days to a week of a delay, just depending upon how components pull together. So we've begun stress testing of Jormungandr 0.8 RC7, and RC8 should be out in no time. And we just keep doing release candidates, and we're cleaning up things and correcting things along the way. The problem is that every time we do this, we're usually introducing a breaking change, and the other pieces of infrastructure, Adrestia and the Daedalus, have to plug into that. So if we run into a situation where we keep making breaking changes too late into our dev cycle, it will delay the integration of those other components, which will delay the release by a day or two because they just need some time to clean things up. So if not the 9th, it'll be that week, most likely, and be probably towards the earlier part of the week than the back end. But the 9th still looks okay. It just, we'll let you guys know on Friday through a tweet or something, or over the weekend, basically, whether that's good or not. But pretty close. So I hope you guys are as excited as I am. I hope you guys realize that the culmination of pulling all these pieces together to create the incentivized testnet has put certainly some white hair in my beard and my head. And it is an enormous task. Basically, the incentivized testnet is a cryptocurrency. And frankly, you could launch Shelley from it if you wanted to. And had we done that in 2017, people would be pretty happy. And there's just been just so much thought and care and 2 years of protocol design that went into this. And now it's your turn to actually start creating stake pools and doing stuff and letting us know. We have over 3,000 people in the Telegram group that specialize in yelling at us, and they do great work from Rick on down. People have already begun their own stress testing and throwing millions of transactions at their nodes and taking a look at stability and settlement times and so forth. And we've learned an enormous amount. We've done over 50 releases of the Jörmungandr client since the network testnet was released. We've serviced now over 1,000 issues, and we just keep pushing our way forward. The Haskell side is really starting to evolve. We did the release of the 0.1 Haskell node. We're getting architectural diagrams now and all these things and going through each item and getting a sense of where everything's at. And now we're on 2-week release cycles on the Haskell node side for the first time in our company's history. So seeing formal methods in practice actually being put into an agile release process is, I've never seen it done in my career. We aspired to it. Everybody said we were pretty crazy, but now it looks like we're actually getting there. So anyway, Nick is doing a great job on the Adrestia side. He's the product manager there, and we're working real hard to get proper stories and proper agile. And now that we're on 2-week release cycles, we're going to see what we can do with that. So things are moving along. Cardano is really starting to push forward, and we're starting to have meta conversations about how do we compete, how do we commercialize, how do we build things up. See, all cryptocurrencies, they have kind of this ODCC model. You have the operational, delivery, commercialization, and capitalization model. Capitalization is how do you pay for everything to get it all done. Commercialization is people make money using it. How do you make money using it? Delivery is about how do you build it. Operations are what are the things you need to do to keep it running. And Cardano has always been difficult because there are actually 5 entities that were involved, ODCC, and getting all of them to coordinate and work together and getting everything to be orchestrated in the right way has been really the most difficult challenge of my career. But now, as we enter into 2020, things are just getting unstuck, and they're kind of moving in the right direction. Like, for example, we just added 2 members to the Cardano Foundation board to help accelerate things. So the governing council now has Tamara Hassan and Nico, and both of them are incredibly competent people. And they have proven themselves to not only be capable of doing amazing things, but they've also proven themselves to be very loyal to the Cardano ecosystem and work 7 days a week and travel everywhere and all across the world and so forth. And I, for the first time ever, actually got to sit down with a foundation member and have a real conversation about the Cardano improvement proposal process and talk about protocol proposals, infrastructural proposals, marketing proposals, how to create a solutions group within the organization, how to handle deal flow. So when Bob comes in and says, I need something built, how to route that to preferred service providers. And then how, when a solutions architect looks at it, if they need something from Cardano to support this, how that process should work. And then we started actually, for the first time ever, talking about what a treasury would look like and how deliberation about Cardano improvement proposals should be done and how an RFP process should look and so forth. So that was exciting because, we've just lived so much in the IOHK silo, and I've had to make a lot of these decisions for myself. And I do the best that I can with the information I have and the people advising me. But at the end of the day, this is a community protocol. It's a community effort. Cardano is yours as much as it is mine. And for this to be successful, we have to extend it beyond IOHK, and we have to make sure that there's open collaboration, their open communication. So to be able to actually diagram this and say there's an explicit way to do it, that we can start in a pseudo-federated way that becomes more and more decentralized over time. Super cool, super cool. And anyway, it's good. Life is good. So thank you for your patience. And having said all that, let's